Hi everyone. In this video, we will be discussing about basic graphic system. What is basically a basic graphic system and why we use this system, right? Basic graphic system is nothing but capable for performing graphic basic operations and to produce a image, right? So it has all the components of a general purpose computer only, like it will be having input device and output device. So the main is to perform the what are the operations we have and then to give a final image to us, right? So I'll give an architecture of it and we'll discuss about that architecture. So basic graphic system is nothing but it will have, let's say, a input device. I'll just do that just a second. So you will have a input device. Let's say this is an input device. Then you will be having a processor. That processor is connected with the memory, and you will have a frame buffer because pixel will be stored in a frame buffer. We'll discuss the all parameters. Then we have finally those pixels will be going to the output. You will have output devices like LCD, LED and all. So this is a basic architecture. That is, we have an input device, we have a processor, we have a frame buffer, we have a memory, and we have an output device. So let's start with the input device. So you can give any like input devices, you know, right? Keyboard, mouse, joystick. So you can give input uh, to form an image, right? From these devices. So you can use, I just mark it like that. So in input device, you can have uh, what you can have? You can have your keyboard, you can use your mouse, you can use your joystick, right? Then we have a processor. Second is processor. So what is the use of processor over here? So it basically converts the primitives. Now what are primitives? Primitives are nothing but kind of 2D images like your lines and polygons into pixel. Basically process, what does it do? It converts the primitives, that is your lines or polygons into pixel. And those pixels are basically stored in where? They're stored in this frame buffer, right? And each pixel, when you talk about, contains the information such as color and the depth, okay? And you can write that each pixel contains the info about the depth, that is the width and the color, right? Then we have what is called as memory. So what is this memory? This is a general purpose memory, basically like your RAM and more. So it's a general memory, right? General memory, and it's stores with, that is general memory, like you can write RAM or ROM, that is there. And you know, it basically stores the non-graphic based data and stores the non-graphic based data. Now what do you mean by non-graphic based data here? Actually, you know, pixel is something which is called as graphic data, that it has the information about the image. Sometimes you may give input as a image with something written as a numbers, right? So those numbers are not a image, so they won't be converted into pixels. They will be stored in this memory, right? That is called as non-graphic based data. So this processor is basically used to convert the primitives into the pixels. Those pixels are stored here in this frame buffer, and also this processor do the rasterization. Rasterization is nothing but the scan conversion, that is primitive to the, what you called it as 2D 2D pixels. That is what is rasterization is all about. And this memory is a general purpose memory where what happens is it's connected to store all the non-graphic data, right? Whereas in frame buffer is a special kind of memory where you stores the graphic data, right? So just write that. So the next part is the frame buffer. So what is frame buffer? Frame buffer is nothing but it's a special kind of memory. So special memory which stores the which stores which stores the computer graphic based data. That is, it stores the pixel, right, in a form of array. So actually these pixels are produced as an array of pixels, and these pixels are stored in a buffer. So in form of arrays, pixels are stored. Pixels are stored. And the last part is your output devices. So you will know what are the output devices, right? There can be many output. Earlier we used to have cathode ray tubes, CRTs. So in one of the videos we'll take how CRT actually works. You have the emission, electron beams goes and it strikes to the metal plate. From there is a ejection of uh, photon. That photon strikes to a phosphorus plate and emits the color, right? That's how CRT works. So there is a way methods, like, so in output devices you can have CRT, you can have LCD, LED nowadays. CRT is used earlier only, right? Let's talk about some details about this frame buffer, right? So this frame buffer has a property of something called as, resolution and depth. We have discussed this depth also, that pixel has the information about depth. So what is this depth? Or you say, in other terms we can say depth as precision. This is nothing but it's the number of bits used for each pixel. It tells about the number of bits used for each pixel. Number of bits used for each pixel. And remember the fact that one bit, like if you have a, we say deep frame buffer, right? So we say a deep frame buffer, like something like that, because you will be having a many pixel formed, right? You will be having many pixel formed. So one bit deep frame buffer, if you say, it will be nothing but it contains two color, right? So what if I say 8-bit frame buffer, how many colors it will have? It will have 2 to the power 8 colors. And there is a standard term called as two colors, or you can say RGB, true color, or you can say full color. Some says full color, or some says two color, which is nothing but, which is the 24-bit per pixel. If you have 24-bit per pixel, we say it's a RGB or a full color. That's just an information I'm giving you. It's not required, just an information I'm giving. And the other property of frame buffer is resolution, which is the number of pixels stored in the frame buffer. That's it. So number of pixels stored in a frame buffer. Frame buffer. Okay. So this is all about this basic graphic system where we have an input. This input device is been taken some inputs, and there's a goes to the processor. In this processor, basically primitives are converted into pixel, and those pixels are stored into this frame buffer in a form of arrays. And this memory stores the, or what is non-computer graphic data, and this stores the computer graphic data and produces the image on this output device, which can be CRT, can be LCD, can be LED. So this is how the basic graphic system works. In the next video, we will be talking about the architectures, uh, about this graphic systems. Until then, thank you.